Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Tuesday, the 20th of June, 2023. I hope you're safe and healthy today and that the needs of you and your family, as far in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health, are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders, who every day are trying to save human lives. And those also that pick up garbage for us to keep our places clean and disease-free, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover the teenagers and children who are the unfortunate victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People who also are the victims of pornography and child pornography. The victims of prostitution and child prostitution, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators of these things. Double curses on those that profit from these things, and all the perverts. Double curses on the perverts that create the demand of which other perverts make the supply. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, and children homeless, mostly children, in the streets of the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. Today we're going to talk about something if you asked me a month ago that I would be doing a video about this, I really would laugh. But we're talking about this morning, the Zion Williamson possibility. Now, why is that unbelievable? Well, first off, Zion Williamson is a generational talent. He's a generational talent. I mean, he's only played in 114 NBA games in the 4 years he's been in the league, but he's averaged 26 points. He shot 61% from the field. 34% from the line, including 37% this past season, though he only played 29 games. He shoots 70%, 69% for his career from the line, but 71% this year. He's 22 years old. Why would New Orleans even think about trading him? You know, I was reading a article that Ian Begley wrote for SNY yesterday about Zion Williamson. And there was one sentence in there that really caught my attention where he mentioned the Kristaps Porzingis situation with Phil Jackson and the Zion Williamson situation in New Orleans. And then that sentence caused my mind to click. Yes, he's been hurt. He's been hurt a lot. But when he came to the New York Knicks, to play the Knicks. When he came to the Garden to play the Knicks, and when he came to the Garden to play with Duke, there was no doubt. In fact, he said himself, he just not gonna front. He loves playing in New York, he's a good kid. Despite and let me just say this: all of the people trying to judge him because he got some porn star pregnant, y'all need to check yourself, especially you men. Have you ever been 22, 21 years old? Do you know what that feels like when you're 21 years old, the energy you have? And then any woman that you had, I remember my brother, he used to have pinups. Jet Magazine used to have pinups every week. And he'd have all the pinups on his wall. Me, myself, I waited for the Sports Illustrated swimsuit article and I put those on my wall. Imagine those women, all of them, after you. Because they know you got a pocket full of money. And you can have any one of them you want. That's what we don't understand what that's like. Okay? I'm not saying he should have got a porn star pregnant, but I'm saying I understand. He's a young boy. It happens to a lot of kids that come in the NBA. A lot of them. Okay? So many. Kids with good character, kids with bad character, and all in between. It's a very difficult situation. So, yes, he got a woman pregnant. Yes, she's out here spouting it. Why? Because she wants money. Of course she does. Okay? She knows that by having Zion Williamson's baby, she's going to be set for life. The $100 million sneaker deal, followed by the $194 million NBA deal. She gets a little $10 million of that, changes life for her forever. I just saw Julius Randle being interviewed by Paul George. And on YouTube, y'all might have seen that. Interesting interview. But Paul George's wife worked in the strip club. How you think they met? In church? So, I'm not saying, I'm not judging them because I'm not in the position where I'm 21 years old. Got all the testosterone and energy of a 21-year-old. And I got every flavor on planet Earth chasing me. And I got all the money in the planet that I can ever spend. I don't know what that's like. And so I'm not going to judge Zion on that. But I will say this. I feel he's a smart young man and he's going to learn from this. Okay? Overall, I think he's a good kid. And so as a good kid, he was going into New Orleans to give it the best shot he could. But I get the feeling he really didn't want to be there. He really didn't want to be there. Okay? He was trying, but he really didn't want to be there. Kristaps Porzingis wanted to be in New York. He just got sour on Phil Jackson. And if y'all remember, it was for good reason. Not that he should have skipped out on his exit interview. So he did some foolishness, but he was a young boy. Many of y'all want to bring up the rape allegation he had, a girl, he had a fight he had when he was a young boy. He's a grown man now, and he has learned. But we're talking about Zion Williamson. So for that reason, they're looking, or maybe, let me not make it a definite because we don't know. He could be, he won't get traded. I wouldn't trade him. If I had him and Brandon Ingram with the cast of characters they got around him, I wouldn't trade him. But it could be that Zion wants out. It could be. That's the only reason I can see this happening, because KP came to the Knicks and his brother and said, trade me. And they obliged him. I think that might be the situation here, because there's no way I would be trading Zion Williamson. I don't care how hurt he is. He is now 22 years old, going to be 23 years old in July. I'm not trading him. I'm going to wait this out and see if I can get him in shape and because if I can get him and Ingram on the court together, I'm top 4 in the West. But if he's asking to be traded, that's what would make him available. You see, Brandon Ingram ain't asking to be traded. And Brandon Ingram, for all of his faults, he's on the court more. He's more quieter with his situations, right? So, of course, he's been around a little bit longer than Zion here. But they ain't trading Brandon Ingram. So I don't care what Charlotte's asking for. I don't care what Portland. They're not trading Brandon Ingram. Neither would I. But Zion is generational a talent as he is. If he'd have said, I want to leave, as an organization, you probably going to try to make that happen. And so it makes sense that the word has been coming out from Shams that they are looking at Scoot Henderson. They want Scoot Henderson. They really hot on him. It makes sense, and Zion would be the prize. Now, Scoot can go 2 or 3. He's not going number 1, but he's going to go 2 or 3. That's where Scoot Henderson's going to go. 2 is Charlotte's pick. 3 is Portland's pick. These are different situations, okay? So that's why there's so many possibilities here. There's so many possibilities. Where do the Knicks come in? If Charlotte is willing to draft him and trade that pick, or just trade the pick, they're going to want players. Charlotte does not need a point guard or a shooting guard for that matter. They don't need that. They even got backup. They don't need the first 3 guards in the rotation. They don't need that. They could use front court help. They're now training Mark Williams as their 5. They need some power forward wing help. They got oh God, I forgot the guy's name, but they got a really good wing, but he's always hurt. He's been hurt a lot since he went to Boston. Don't worry about telling me. Don't start typing it. I'll find it. Don't worry. His what's the kid's name? The guy was in Boston. He broke his leg. Oh God. He's a wing. Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward is his name. Yes, Gordon Hayward. They had Gordon Hayward as a three, and he's a tremendous three, all-star level three, but he's always hurt. So to me, and they got him in the final year of his $30 million, $32 million contract. So I would bring him off the bench, but they need help. They can use some professional star level help at the four spot. We happen to have one of those. His name is Julius Randle. And this is the thing. If you're going to trade to obtain Zion Williamson, there is no, I'm not even going to, it's Julius that's going out. Somewhere. Julius is going out. Zion's a four. Okay? Julius is going out. If they're going to trade Zion for Zion Williamson, Julius is leaving. This is not RJ. This is not Obi. This is Zion. Okay? And this is Julius. Julius would be the one going out here. Now, if they were trading for somebody else, somebody mentioned Trey Murphy III. If you wanted to trade for Trey Murphy III, no, you won't have to trade Julius for that one. You could trade IQ and probably get him. But that's a different situation. We're talking about Zion now. Now, somebody would say, obviously, even stat heads would look at this and say, well, he's been hurt all the time. Why you want him? Because he's 23. Because he's worth waiting for. Because I got Obi Toppin to play full-time until he's ready. Because I will be working with him. New York Knicks got the best medical staff, the best training staff right now, one of the best in the NBA. And so I will be working with him. I will be working on his diet. Of course, his boy RJ is here. We would have this guy down to 270, 275, and then it's lights out. See, he's been playing at 280. He needs to come down to about 270, 275. When he's not 300 because he's overeating. But I'm saying get him straight on his diet, make him get them protein in there, them healthy fats, stay away from that sugar, and you get down to 270, and the league would have a serious problem out of New York. Okay? They would have a serious problem out of New York. There's no doubt. So that's why I would do it. Now, what will we give up for it? Well, let's talk about, I don't like to talk about all the specifics, but if it was Charlotte giving the pick up, we're giving Charlotte, we're trading Julius Randle. They might want some other pieces, right? We're trading Julius Randle plus, and it'll be another young player. I don't know who it would be. It wouldn't be O because we have a four. It would be it wouldn't be RJ either. I don't know who they'd give up. I don't know, but they're going to need another piece. I'd probably send them an expiring piece, a Derrick Rose or something like that. But anyway, and they're going to need draft capital. They're going to need draft capital going forward because look, they got the second pick in the draft, right? So they're going to need some more draft capital. The Knicks have draft capital, plenty of that. Just that they have lower picks, but that's the deal we would make. We would probably have to give them several number ones plus Julius and for the third pick. Then we send that third pick to New Orleans and obtain Zion Williamson. That's how that would work. And so yes, and Zion will be our starter at the four, obviously. And then he's not. Obi would get plenty of time regardless. Obi would get plenty of time. Some of y'all seem to think, and this is the problem you'll have listening to the media, that Tom Thibodeau just does things like a robot. There's a difference between having a way you coach and a style you coach than adapting. I know y'all don't like him. I think it's kind of foolish. He does frustrate me sometimes, but overall, he's a winning coach. Okay? And I believe we could win a chip with him. And some of y'all feel strongly about that because you're just haters, but that's your problem. I feel like we could do that. But if he got Zion, believe me, he wouldn't be playing Zion 40 minutes a game. He would know better than that. Okay? And he would cut down the minutes. He knows that. Okay? Until Zion would be the guy to tell him, and that's how Tibbs operate. Zion would say, okay, I want to stay in this game. And that's how Tibbs do it. But he would start him off probably 20, 25 minutes a game just to get him acclimated, just to, get him on good footing, no pun intended, and then have Obi playing those other minutes. That's how he would do it, but it would still be a 9-man rotation. I mean, maybe 10, but I'll have a hard time believing it'll be 10. He had enough talent to run 10, and he might run 10. It would be a departure from what he did in the past, but he likes to run 9-man rotations. He likes to manage 9-man rotations. That's how he is. It is what it is. But he would manage Zion properly. He would also manage KP properly if KP came in. But he could manage them properly. I'm not worried about that. I think he was running Kemba Walker because he didn't want Kemba Walker and it was forced on him. And so he ran Kemba Walker until Kemba Walker was really within 5 or 10 games playing on one leg. But he ain't going to do that to Zion. And he ain't going to do it to KP. So it would work out very well. The Knicks would be a top East contender with Zion Williams. They would. There's no doubt about it. Don't let him play 60 games. Because if he plays 60, 65 games, the Knicks would be I'm going to say top 3 in the East. I'm going to say top 3. I'm going to say they're competing with Boston, Milwaukee, Miami, Cleveland. They're competing with them in tops in the East. I heard some knucklehead on some story. See, last year, this same knucklehead, I forgot his name, was talking about the Knicks wanting to make the play-in. This year, they got to watch their back. Yeah. People better watch out. And I told y'all last year, they better watch out for us. Somebody losing their spot. That's all I'm saying. So, if they get Zion, let me tell you, somebody losing their spot. Because they're going to be top 3, top 4. They are. Okay? And so, yeah. The Knicks would be trouble. See? So, I'm going to put this at a less than 50% chance of happening. Okay? I'm not going to put this. The probability to me of a Zion Williamson being traded to the New York Knicks, I'm going to put it at 35%. That's how I don't think this is going to happen. As much as I'd love it to happen, I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. I just can't, I can't see David Griffin giving up Zion Williams, even though he wants to leave. I wouldn't do it. See, that's what I'm saying. I keep him at least 2 more years and let this thing try to calm down, try to get him in shape. I try to do that. Okay, unless he demands a trade. Now, we haven't gotten anything out of Zion's camp saying that he has demanded a trade. So I don't know what's going on. I've heard rumors that he's not getting along with his teammates from the same windbag that talked all this crap before. But unless I hear from Zion or from one of the 3 wise men, I'm not having it. So I don't know what's going on down there in New Orleans. But if he asked for a trade, they would probably acquiesce and give him the trade. But they're going to have to make a decision soon. Now, here it is, the 20th of June. The draft is in a couple of days. They may make their decision soon. Hopefully they've made it already. But something like this, you better think long and hard about if you're David Griffin in New Orleans. You better think long and hard about this. And you better make sure that you're getting something, which is why I can see him looking for the 3rd pick in the draft. I can, or Scoot Henderson, whatever, the 2nd or 3rd pick. He's looking for Scoot Henderson. So I can see that because he could sell that to his owner. Zion didn't want to be here. He was overweight, wasn't getting healthy, and we can get a generational talent that he can post it like that. And Scoot Henderson, okay, they can sell that. That's how a GM keeps his job, because you could lose your job on a move like this, okay. So, and then of course the Don could easily sell this to Dolan. He could easily sell this to Dolan. Dolan is into big names. He really is. So if he said to Dolan, I'm gonna have to trade Julius. Glad you got the autographed basketball, but we getting Zion Williamson. Dolan is all in. Believe me, Dolan is all in on that. So, so that would work. But I still have a hard time believing they would do that. Anyway, so that's Charlotte. Let's talk about Portland. Portland's got a decision to make. It is so obvious to me that they need to tear the thing down and start over. It is so obvious and evident. They need to tear the thing down and start over. They need to tear the thing down and start over. It is so obvious and evident they need to do that. So Damian Lillard needs to be traded. There's no doubt. He needs to be traded. Okay? Damian Lillard needs to be traded. And Miami is all in, apparently, which they should be, in trying to get him. So they should tear this down, and they should make their 3rd pick, and they should start from there. Get more draft capital from Anthony Simons. Trade this thing. Trade everybody else. Start over with the young kids that you got. Let Jeremy Grant walk, or do a sign and trade. That's what I would do if I was them. A sign and trade where you can get back draft capital, some more draft capital. That's what they should do. But there's also the possibility that they try to make a run, which is why I'm hearing noise about them looking at Siakam. They're looking at Siakam to pair with Jeremy Grant, which makes a lot of sense. They're looking at Siakam to pair with Jeremy Grant. If they can't get Siakam, because there's also noise out there that Masai Ujiri's driving everybody crazy and nobody wants to deal with Toronto because of him, they could also look at New York. And again, we're talking about Zion Williamson. Okay, I mean not Zion Williamson, Julius Randle. Sorry, we're talking about Julius Randle in that scenario. So we'll have to see how this works out. This is going to be very interesting in both scenarios. We're going to see how this works out. Because the Knicks, in that scenario, they will be trading Julius to Portland, and they have the third pick. And they could trade that pick if they want to. Some of y'all think we should keep the pick. No. The Knicks are in year 4. This is a critical time of growth of a team in the rebuild mode. You don't take no rook right now. You don't need no rook right now. You're not going to play any rookie right now. You got a stacked rotation. And this is another thing I keep telling y'all. Some of y'all ain't getting it. You say, what about this guy? He's really good. It's not that there aren't good players available in the NBA. There's a lot of them. It's the league. Okay? You got a lot of good players. But you got to be thinking about who am I removing from my rotation in order. So Sadiq Bey in Atlanta. I forgot about him when I talked the other day about Atlanta. But Sadiq Bey is a good player. A nice wing. But I'm not trading RJ for him. The Knicks are not trading Josh Hart for him. They just signed Josh Hart. I'm not trading Obi. I'm not trading IQ. I'm not trading none of my guys for him. So where would he play? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Yeah, bring up good. Oh, Naz Reid. We got to go. Where is Naz Reid going to play? You got 3 centers. Where is he going to play? A 4? Oh, you want him to play the 4. So he's better than Obi? So I had some knucklehead talking about he's an all-star. I was like, what? And then, wait. Somebody said, well, he could back up Randall. No, he cannot. I got 2 guys for you. Obi Toppin and Jericho Sims. Jericho Sims could play the 4. Some of y'all are so looking at other players so hard that you diss your own players. There's no room for Naz Reid on our team. Period. There's no room for him. We got 3 centers, and he's a natural 5. So anyway, when you are talking about whoever player the next clickbait is bringing up, you got to think about that. Notice what I did today. I said Zion Williamson, right? And I immediately told you it's Julius Randle that's going on. Why? I'm telling you who's leaving the rotation so this new player could come in and play. Okay, you got 9-man rotation. Okay, let's say they might be 10. Deuce McBride is the 10th guy. And let me tell you something else. If they were to trade Emmanuel Quickley, let's say Emmanuel Quickley went in a deal that included Kristaps Porzingis coming back. I want Deuce McBride to get all of Emmanuel Quickley's minutes. Period. I'm not looking at Dante DiVincenzo. I'm not looking at nobody else. I want Deuce to get all the minutes because I believe in my players. And I think they're good. And I think they just need a chance to play. Anyway, Zion coming to the Knicks would be, I can't even explain the magnitude of such a move. The magnitude of a Zion Williamson coming to the Knicks. I can't even adequately give you what that would be like. Okay, it would be unbelievable. It really would be unbelievable. The magnitude of a Zion Williamson coming to New York would be, I hate to use the term, but it would be serious box office. Serious. And this guy is a generational talent at age, going to be 23 in a couple of weeks, man. A generational talent. Luka level talent. Yeah, I can't see New Orleans letting that go. But if they do, I'm sure the Knicks are on the other line calling. So the Don going to do his due diligence. Well, we'll see. KP is going to either opt in or opt out in 24 hours, y'all. So we about to see whatever happens, whatever. And then the draft coming up Thursday. Whatever, we're getting ready to see what happens. This is going to be very... Get your popcorn. If you eating popcorn, get your popcorn ready because it's getting ready to be a show. Y'all be safe out there. We'll talk soon. Really. Shalom.